Yes, a very good morning to all of you, and thanks for joining this session. As we look towards the future of the hospitality industry, sustainability has become a crucial focus, not only for reducing the environmental impact, but also for ensuring a long-term profitability, growth, enhanced guest satisfaction, and a strong brand reputation. Today, we are discussing the critical aspect of sustainability of hospitality, balancing energy, water, and waste management to a greener and more responsible future. Throughout today's discussion, we'll explore the strategies, innovation, and best practices that are helping the hospitality industry balance these factors and move towards a more sustainable and profitable future. Let's begin by hearing from our expert panelists about the experience in managing these key sustainability pillars and how we can move forward a more sustainable, greener tomorrow. So once again, welcome to all the panelists. So my first question to all the panelists, like, what do you understand by sustainable hospitality and what is its importance? So any of you can just please start.
Hello, yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, sustainable hospitality is basically practices and strategies which hotels employ, keeping in mind priority of economic, environmental, and social sustainability. Uh, in social sustainability, we look at best practices, fair practices. We look at empowering smaller communities and having a healthy culture in and around your hotel. Economic primarily is about having a business which is long term and having a view which is long term, having it profitable, at the same time maintaining ethical practices. Environmental is all about waste management, whether it's water, energy, conservation, uh, low carbon print, and that's basically how hospitality looks at hospitality sustainability. Someone else can add.
So that was actually a very good definition of sustainable hospitality. If I put it in a simple word, it is giving back to the society, environment, and economy more than what you consume in hospitality. So that's a very simple definition and very easy to look at. However, if you look at the gap between what's happening in the society and hospitality and the clear definition, it's very different. For example, if I do a very simple mathematics on how much of this bottle is being utilized, a plastic bottle, in a 200-room hotel with 60% occupancy. Any guesses? Approximately 5 lakh of such plastic bottles are thrown away in an year in a 200-room hotel with an occupancy of 60%. And we know the occupancy is like rising at a very high pace. Similarly, mini toiletries that we have, approximately 1.5 lakh of such mini toiletries are being disposed in the ocean uh, because of our hospitality sector. So hospitality sector is responsible for 8% of the total carbon footprint on the earth. So the simple definition, we are actually far away from actually reaching that simple definition is what I would say. And then to your second question, importance, we can see the rise of importance of sustainability in business, not just because it is good to have. Radisson had its first policy of sustainability in 1989. I wasn't born then. But not because the business thinks from the philanthropy point of view. It is good for business from short-term point of view and also from long-term point of view. Um, there are 6,000 companies, listed companies, which have gone for SBTI, which is the science-based target on carbon footprint. And for those 6,000 companies, uh, the travel and accommodation is their scope 3, which is the indirect emission that happens. So we like it or not, we have to bear that cost of considering sustainability in the core business. So yes, it is very important. It has become important, not just from the human aspect, but also for the business aspect of it. Yes.
So if I can just take this conversation to what is truly sustainability. If you look at the definition of sustainability, it's basically something that will last long. Okay, that's what the definition. Sustainable means something that's going to last a really long time. Um, the industry inherently is sustainable because it's one of the oldest industries that has ever existed. It dates back to, I think, 15,000 BC, where you had holes cut out and caves created for travelers traveling across. Over the years, we've divulged from this sustainable practice and gone into a use and throw kind of a model, which is making it less sustainable. You know, so I think a lot of it is actually stepping back, seeing what we can get rid of, stopping any one-time use thing, and creating truly more sustainable products that will last long. Because when you build a hotel, you're not building something that's going to last you for a use and throw kind of a setup. You're building something that's going to transcend generations. So I think it's very important that that essence is carried in what we're building. And that's how we really truly look at building forward.
Yeah, first of all, good afternoon and thank you for having me here. Very nice to be part of this conversation. I represent Leela Hotels, which is considered as one of the luxury hotel in the industry. I would answer this way that, luxury and sustainability now actually go hands in hand. Uh, Luxury means opulence, unique experiences, the kind of grandeur. But now when we construct any asset, from that design per se, we start from there, from the operations, and then the implementations and the sourcing, everything can be done sustainable. We believe in that. We do every part of it. And now luxury and hospitality can be considered, and we are doing this practice as a sustainable.
Thank you, thank you. So we know that how sustainability in tourism and hospitality is important. The government has also, I think, taken up important steps in, taking this sustainability in hospitality, tourism and hospitality forward. I think the life, the travel life, that's the initiative which is started by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. And I think they have started also giving the certificate. So unfortunately, we don't have a representative from Government of Maharashtra. Dr. Patil, who's IS, the Directorate of Tourism Industry, he wanted to, in fact, share his views on the government initiative. But anyway, we can have that session in the maybe I think Suhail would like to say something about this.
One of the best initiatives that is taken by the government recently is with regards to power. So they have allowed the industry to buy green power. And I think that's going to revolutionize the way we are setting up our power infrastructure in the hotels. And from our perspective, we are definitely almost looking at 60% of our purchase of power coming through green sources within the next 2 years.
That's great. Yes.
So just to add, especially in June 23, there's a policy from the central government where you can set up your solar plant across India and take and feed into the central grid and take at consumer end in any other states. That is a very nice and fundamentally right policy to start with. And many of our hotels will get benefited because of this. We have got a lot of approvals. Now we are setting, and we are almost at the verge where we'll set up a solar plant in Rajasthan and we'll get the electricity in Delhi. So that's amazing policy where actually we are using a renewable energy, generating somewhere else in one state, and we are consuming somewhere in other states. So government understand this, and then the current government actually helping us a lot in terms of policy regulations. They hear us. We have a different set of a format where we can go, we represent as an industry, and then really they help us a lot.
That's great. That's great. So going forward, in today's world where sustainability is becoming increasingly important, which you have already, heard from the panelists. So the water management is a key consideration for hospitality industry, as we all know. The hotel, resorts, and other service providers need to find a balance between the managing water usage efficiently and ensuring that the guests still have an enjoyable and high quality experience. So given the critical role of water in guest satisfaction, my question to Suhail is, how do you ensure efficient water management while still providing a high quality experience for the guests?
So interestingly, in the hotels, your water consumption is only 50% used by guests. 50% of the water consumed is internally. You know, your kitchens, your washing, your if you have your in-house laundries, that exceeds 50%. So I think the first step of ensuring proper water management is proper tracking. You know, you've got to measure what you're withdrawing if you're using this, and you've got to track how much water you're utilizing, monitoring your water. Uh, you don't want to impede a guest experience by telling them they can't use water. You can install a few setups in the rooms, like you've got aerators in the sinks, which will use your water saving faucets and your showers. So those kind of things, without impeding their experience, you can conserve water. But the back of the house areas, I think that's where you truly need to track and truly need to get into what you can do to save water. If you look at today, the water quality, the groundwater quality in India is deteriorating at such a rapid pace, it's unbelievable. So most hotels, what they're doing, they're installing RO systems. Okay, that's effectively wasting 50 to 60% of the water. RO is just a band-aid put on a large problem, right? So unless you improve the quality of the groundwater, it's just going to get worse. Eventually, the ROs are even not going to be able to cure that water. So there are a lot of setups that are doable, which will help you improve the groundwater quality. And I think there is a person in Ahmedabad who's done something where he's built a kind of well which will purify the water, and found out that within 3 years, the you had absolutely no requirement of an RO. So it's important to do these kind of setups so that you improve the quality of water over the long term, rather than wasting the water across.
What are the best practices do you think that we should adopt? The hoteliers or the tourism, the sector or the hospitality sector should adopt?
So to start with, just start monitoring. I think if we start monitoring, that's the biggest step that we can do to move forward.
So does anyone would like to add to this?
Yeah, I'll just add to this. And, one is that what Suhail has said, that internally we should see, we have to conserve water. That we must do it, there's no doubt about it. But then we should also see externally also. When, let's say, our hospitality or one asset is near to the lake, can we clean the lake of the water? Can we maintain that lake? Can we go to the authority and ask and anyways, let's do a CSR activity for that matter. Can we do that? There's a pond near to you. Can we do that? Or if our hotel is near to any sea, can we do anything on a biodiversity? That obviously we can do. And there are a lot of other innovations are happening in the market. Like one of the innovation is making a water from the air. That also we can look into it, if we can do that. Now the quantity of the water will be less, but at least we can start with. So this is one of the practice which you can do, apart from the aerators, STP, rain harvesting. These all are standard, and now it's more on the regulation side, we do it. But there are a couple of things where I believe that we can take a step ahead, and we can approach authority, regulators, and not only within our asset, beyond our asset also we can think of for water conservation.
Um, yes, so I definitely echo with the thoughts of my seniors here. Just one thing to add. I mean, we talked a lot about the back of house, but there's also front of house, because we live in a water stress country. We all know that. The amount of water used per day per room is 1,500 liters on an average in a country like India. That's a lot. So it's also our responsibility to also tell our guest, communicate to our guest, that you can help us save water. You can help us and be part of our sustainability journey. And that's, I think, most of the groups are doing now with the towel reuse or linen reuse program. Definitely it saves on a lot of cost, but also sustainability, because sustainability is boils down to efficiency. So yeah, it becomes our responsibility to also make the communication front of house.
But interestingly, you mentioned the towels. India traditionally used thin cotton towels, okay, versus what we're using today. And the consumption of water difference in just washing that towel is more than 100%. Okay. So if we just go back and look at those thin towels coming back as an option for a guest, or today we've got bamboo towels that we can utilize in the hotels. Once we start incorporating those as options to guests for sustainability, you'll find a lot of adoption in it.
So, while everyone has said what they have, a simple process of this bottle, when you're serving your front of the house guests, uh, I think a basic ask that can we fill it till you need it? Because typically what happens is we fill the glass till the brim, but the guest eventually wastes most of it, if not the fully. So, like Suhail just had some water there. There's still something left in. So these are small, I think, common things which we can implement to save water.
Okay, thank you. So since we are talking about the water management in hospitality sector, so I would like to throw any question. Not, in fact, I would like to request any of the audience would have any question, to the panelists.
Good afternoon, sir. Dr. Manoj Chavan here. Uh, I'd like to, regarding your this thing from air technology, air to water technology. So that is really a good concept, but the what is it called, the kharcha what will do is very expensive for that.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. The scale
And the
is not
thing
there.
is that that is being used only where the climate is favorably. This thing, then only you can use that technology. We had tried this thing a lot, but then now in Nagpur area or in Vidarbha area, we can't put that air to water technology is the problem now. And the other thing I would like to more this thing, this time Maharashtra state government has been appointed a special ministry for solar technology, which was not there. And Mr. Save, he was supposed to come today or tomorrow maybe. So Mr. Save has become a minister now. So now really it's very, this thing that solar can, definitely will get the subsidies also, and the government is very much in this thing. So the air to water technology
Yeah.
should
So-
be developed in.
No, so
we
I'll
have-
tell you, so the whole point of your, whatever the humidity is there in the air, you're actually converting and getting the water, correct? If the coastal areas like Mumbai or Chennai, there you'll get a lot of humidity in the air. So there, if you'll use it, so our humidity is around 75, 80%, there you'll get good water, correct? But if you'll go to Nagpur or Rajasthan, maybe with very dry weather, you will not get. So to get the same quantity of water, the power may be very high, the intensity will be very high of the power. So that is not possible. But wherever it is possible, we can do it. Second, in this technology, only point is that there are no minerals. So we have to add a minerals also in this bottle. That's the only two challenges. However, in a few areas, it works very well. The scale is not large, but it is, I think, if we can generate a water which can be served to the guest or can be used in our kitchen, at least we can do that. It's a small this thing. Obviously, over the period of time, when the technology evolves, then the scale can be increased.
I just want to add on this. Actually, Dr. Manoj Chavan is called the Waterman of Maharashtra. And he has been awarded doctorate because he goes to villages and gives water. And during drought, he literally is the savior for the villagers there. He's known as the Waterman. Now, when the cost goes up, we tighten the belt. Similarly, water is a cost, okay, in general. In Himachal Pradesh, I know that, there are a lot of rain water catchment, and they use that water. And the river and the flow of water which comes from the mountains has minerals, has purity. So if you see, every bus with the tourists come there, they stop and the passengers get down and fill that water directly from the mountain and they drink it, So this is a kind of and that water goes in circulation. So that catchment water could also be bottled I know of the hotel that we started in Dharamshala, where we get this river water, and that is what we give as a special Dharamshala Himachal water to all our guests, which has natural minerals in it. So that's a cost saving that we do at Dharamshala.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I think we have discussed a lot on what. Yeah, one more question. I think I wanted to finish it off with the panelists and then come back to you. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm Girish Aradhya, come from Bengaluru, Karnataka state. I'm a designer, also a small hotelier. I do a lot of consultations. I was also ex-Leela, I has done my training there. I would like to ask this panelist, I also represent Rotary International, do a lot of environment. I've done a Guinness Book of Record regarding My Tree, My Life in Bengaluru, especially on children's, to save the environment. As a hotelier, I do a lot of consultation, costing when it comes, sustainability is also a core subject for us, because nowadays underground water has came down, so people are dependent
Your
on.
question, please.
Yeah. I would like to know, because Bangalore got more than 5,000 small hotels, boutique hotels, 30 keys, 50 keys. For them, whatever your suggestions may not be much viable, not affordability when it comes to commercial implementing technology and ground reality. Do you highlight anything? Can you give us some tips where we can take your inputs and tell our customers, our clients, entrepreneurs can save their cost and environment, do some sustainability?
Okay, I'll tell you. So there are a couple of things we discussed that what we can do in our capacity at the hospital, at the asset level. Okay, we discuss about STP operations. There you can put a digital pani. There's a software where you can actually monitor the consumption, how much is the efficiency you're getting. You can work on a rain harvesting. You can put a aerators. You can put a awareness to the guest where you can put it near to the some tent card there in the room. There you can save. You can use a chemical in the laundry where the less chemical required. You can increase the efficiency of the laundry where the bulk load has to go into the washing machine. So the entire cycle, the same water requires in the machine to clean either 1/10 of the load or the full load. So better always to put a full load in the laundry. So you can increase the laundry efficiencies. Beyond this, we also discussed that how can you work on a larger ecosystem. Now, recently I went to one of the event happened in Lower Parel somewhere in a hotel where we are discussing how can we uplift the Kaveri basin itself. Okay, so there's a good point, and the people like us only has to find out how can we contribute. There are a lot of industry associates, but they are not only from the hospitality, from other industries also. I heard that already Narmada work is already happening. Okay, so we have to also participate beyond this thing. One is that what we can do within the hospitality, we discussed that whatever we practice in our asset, beyond this also, there are a lot of programs which is going on, we can be part of it.
In terms of cost saving, one of the things that you can do easily, which will save you cost and also work well for the environment, is the point that we discussed earlier regarding the power. Today, the government allows any property with over 100 kilowatts of power to convert your power to green power. And not only will your rate half for the electricity, you will also be... So that's an easy step that you can take to save power.
So thank you, panelists. I think a lot of the best practices is already shared on the efficient use of water management. So we'll move to the next question. So one of the biggest challenge we have just discussed on, but there are other two important topics we need to also get the best answer from the panelists. So one of the biggest, another challenge in hospitality sector, managing energy use. So while ensuring the guests' comfort, so with respect to that, I would like to ask Naresh, what innovative approaches can the hospitality industry adopt to transition towards renewable energy sources while maintaining operational efficiency and guest satisfaction?
So there are two approaches. One is for the greenfield, one is for the brownfield. Correct. So let's discuss on the operations part of it. So when any hotel is in operations, we now have a very clear strategy. One is to go on a renewable. Our palace hotels are almost 70% power actually comes from renewable. We have almost got 20 megawatt of a solar plant which is working across Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan. We have set up a plants there. So one is that we are completely going into the green power. That is one set of integrations. Let's say it's a forward integration. The backward integration is also required. When I say backward integration, is like we are also changing all our equipments in the electricity. So it starts with your washer, steam washer, that we do it. We run electricity boats in Udaipur. We have our asset near to the Pichola lake. There we have converted boats into the electrical boat. We are the first one to do it in Udaipur. Then we have the integration of EV vehicles. We are converting our vehicles into the EV. We are converting all our laundries into the electrifications. So all our laundries now electrified, whether in terms of electrical boiler or the equipment itself. There are two variations in that. You can do it. So that also we do it. So forward integrations and backward integrations. So completely going into the electricity, and that electricity has to be renewable. This is how your carbon footprint, as she's saying, that scope 1 and 2 will drastically reduce. Also, we are looking forward to reduce our PNG. Because of the hotel, we use a lot of gas, LPG and PNG gas in our kitchens. That also we're looking forward now for a gas plants. That also options we're looking for it. Most of our power actually comes from the renewable. Thanks.
So does any other panelist would like to
I think Sir has covered
share more on that?
Sir has covered most of it, and before that, we talked about the renewable energy off-site PPAs. I would just like to say India has been a very unique country that way, that our policy of off-site renewable is so advanced that buying renewable is cheaper than buying brown electricity in many states. Not in all the states yet, because of the policy and state considerations. But yes, very advanced. When we compare it to any other country in Europe or in Southeast Asia, when we work and tell them to go on renewable, it's actually easier for us to go on renewable today with the kind of policies that we have today.
Just to add, on the operation side of it, from 22 till 24, in last 3 years, we spent almost around $8 million upgrading our assets, which includes chiller, cooling tower, best of the state of the art. We have upgraded to our IBMS management system. On that, we have put a demand flow. So we not only are reducing the cost, also ensuring that the electricity consumption also get reduced. So that also we are working very, very hard. And we always try to find out new innovations which is happening in the industry. If somebody comes and tells us, this is, so we are very open about it, how we can do any POC or somewhere, and we look forward to that. So both.
Yes, sir.
So one of the main factors, yes, we can do a lot of changes in terms of hardware and technology, but the hotel industry, it's a people-driven industry. And your largest factor of saving energy is your team, okay? If they are trained, if they are brought into a culture where they have to look at saving, you will generate a lot of savings. So we recently took over a hotel in Kerala, which used to get an electricity bill of about 25 lakhs a month. Just with our green practices, after we took it over, that bill has come down to 13 lakhs a month. So there's a lot that people can do to save energy. We have a green team in every hotel. The green team is empowered to pull up the general manager of the hotel if he's left his lights on in his cabin when he's not there. That's the kind of empowerment you have to give your people to be able to reduce energy consumption.
Right. Thank you. So my request to audience, can we, if you would you mind, taking the question from the audience at the end of the session, so that we can able to complete the questions and then learn many things from the panelists. Thank you. Thank you. So as we know that there is a lot of food, plastic and general waste generated in the hospitality sector, and all of which contribute to environmental degradation if not properly managed. So my question to Sanjeev is that what are the most significant waste-related challenges in hospitality, and how are you working to overcome them?
So, hospitality is one industry which has waste of all kind, which is food, paper, plastic, uh, you name it, and there is a waste coming out of our hotels. And the biggest challenge we face is that how do we, disperse this waste in the proper manner so that it doesn't become hazardous. So with the Orchid, what happens is we follow something called reduce, recycle, and reuse. And the prime example of what we do is that the waste water which comes out of it, through our STP plants, we use that to, the water the orchid gardens. Secondly, we have orchid, orchid, orchid gardens. Then we use something called wormy culture, which comes out of food waste, which is used as manure across our various horticulture departments. So these are some small aspects which we utilize and try and conserve the waste. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So does any of the
So,
panelists would
so
like to
whatever
share
you
something
said,
more?
this is a great practice to be done. One or two things which I will to share, which Leela is doing it. So we estimated around, we do a lot of weddings. We estimated around 2.8 tons of flowers coming every year from our hotels. And this flowers is complete waste, where to dispose of. Then we found a local vendor, and this business partner is amazing. He's upcycling these flowers and converting into charcoal-free incense sticks. So this is one of the example. One is that we need to do a lot of segregations in the waste. So that comes from the training, a lot of awareness, making a team, like Suhail said. So once we do this, once the basic fundamentals in place, then there are business partners who are available who can actually upcycle your waste. So flower waste we have done. I can give you one more example. We have tied up with one of the, I don't know take name here, but then one of the largest chemical manufacturer for our housekeeping chemicals. Soap for Hope is the name of that program. So whatever the leftover soaps which we get in our guest rooms or wherever, we actually give it to them. They recycle it. It's just completely the new process. This thing, they melt, they recycle, they process, they clean, and then they make again the soap. So these are the few examples which I can give it to you right now, which we actually do with our waste.
Yeah, thank you. Would you like to add, Suhail, something?
Well, one of the focus for Radisson Hotel Group in terms of waste is eradicating or disposing of the plastic waste completely. For that, and that is basic for us. So mini toiletries to be replaced by bulk dispensers, which many of the hotels are doing today. But then also those bulk dispensers are to be put in a circular economy. That means that has to be recycled, and those recycled balls have to be used in creating the bulk dispensers again. So that is something, a focused project to reduce the plastic waste. Again, the cost, there was a question around cost saving. So we have the kind of partnership we have done this time for bulk dispensers. The cost of bulk dispensers comes out to be much lesser than the mini toiletries. Similarly, for plastic water bottles, glass water bottling plants, which many of the hotels are going for. Again, that is also becoming a cost-saving options for at least the hotels which have a scale of 200 or more rooms. So yeah, the cost of plastic bottle, which comes around 20 rupees, that can go down to 5 rupees or 6 rupees for a hotel if you go for that glass water bottles, which is much more beautiful and much more sustainable in a way. So yeah, that's...
Yes, yes, Suhail.
Yeah, so everyone touched on it. The principle of waste management is reduce, reuse, recycle, right? And the reduce bit is what we don't pay enough attention to. So if you look, we just finished the Coldplay concerts here in Bombay. 9 tons of waste generated per day is what was generated. They had 10 garbage trucks making 182 trips just to clear the garbage that was generated per day. That's the
Is this
kind
from
of...
hotel industry? Is this from hotel industry are you talking about?
No, the Coldplay concert. There was a Coldplay concert. This is the waste that was generated in one day of the concert. 9 tons of waste. There's so much that we can do with the reduce bit. And I think if we focus on that reduction, there'll be a lot of solid waste that we can get rid of. You know, and small things like the buffets we set up in for breakfast. We set up a lavish buffet, and part of the hospitality culture is that the buffet should be full till the last guest is there. Right? That's the culture of the hospitality. That means my buffet should be full right till my last guest has eaten his food. Imagine the kind of waste you're generating. Yeah. So,
What are the measures do you think that we should take up, for reducing the waste in the hospitality industry? Because the F&B is the major area from where we generate a lot of waste. So what measure do you think that we should take up?
so it needs a bit of a mentality change. It needs a lot of guest training. Prepone make, like for breakfast itself. I've seen today technology available which will tell you exactly how much food is going to be required for your guests that are in-house. You make exactly that much food. And if it's over, don't refill the dishes. That's where the education of the guest comes into the picture. Yeah.
Naresh, I would like to ask you, since you are a technical guy, so apart from the composting, can we not think of, having a pelletization plant or gasification in the hospitality so that, the waste can be used in making the pellets, and then, the same pellet can be used also for the gasification? What do you think about this?
Absolutely, absolutely. And see, so once we generate a lot of wet waste as in a hospitality industry, a lot of food and whatever waste we generate, we should reduce it. There's no doubt about that. But whatever the waste we actually generate, we can also use a biogas plant. We have a lot of mashals with us, which actually give you the luxury experience, and you go to the hotel and all these things. So, and in the kitchen also. Definitely we should work for a biogas. There are also business partners available in the market now where they run the biogas plant. You can send all your wet waste to them, and their gases actually can come in the vessels, and you can utilize it yours. So if you have a lot of constraint of the space, especially in the city hotel, not in the resort, there actually can use these business partners where they can generate the gases or fuel for you guys.
Okay. But then I would like to just share, one of my experience. I understand that in Gujarat city, there are few NGOs who come forward and then, provide the machinery to the hospitality industry. And and then through the waste, then whether it is dry leaves or water or paper or plastic, they generate the pellet from this waste and then they take it themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So why can't we think of, this initiative in the
No,
hospitality
all are
industry?
thinking. See,
Without wasting any money, that they just require a small, I think, 20 by 20 space, and then they come and then donate they set up the unit there itself in your campus and make the pellets.
See, ESG is a journey, There are 6,500 employees of ours. We have around 2,500 keys at 72% occupancy. Throughout the year, so many guests. So this journey requires little time,
I understand.
I'll give you one example. On a plastic front of it, okay, plastic has become very hot topic and all, and Leela as an organization went to the UN, and we have taken a pledge on a GTPI, Global Tourism Plastic Initiative. So we are part of it. We are a member of the GTPI, and after understanding their framework, their structure, we have reduced 42 tons of plastic, single-use plastic, in 1 year. So that is to do this one initiative. There's so many things attached to it, So last year, that was one of the major focus of ours, where we have reduced a lot of single-use plastic. There are few plastics still there, which we don't have any alternative. We are also looking in the market. But as and when the market evolves, there are a lot of solutions will come. And we are the first one to adopt. We don't shy away with this. We are ready to, whatever the cost it required, doesn't matter. We believe in sustainability and we do sustainability.
Oh, thank you, Sanjeev. So I think we have talked much about, the balancing energy, waste and water management. And we have also learned the best practices in these areas. So as you will agree that the success of Hospitality Sustainability Initiative is a combination of quantitative metrics and qualitative measures. So with this respect, I would like to ask a question to Akanksha. How do you measure the success and effectiveness of sustainability initiative in the tourism and hospitality sector? And how do you ensure that they are sufficient? Because Suhail has already talked about the importance of monitoring not only the energy waste, but also the water. So with respect to that, how do we make this successful?
So very, very good question actually. And also the good news is that the conversation of sustainability has gone beyond storytelling, which used to happen like lush green gardens and mountains in the background and you are a sustainable eco resort. So that doesn't happen anymore. So the conversation has become more data driven now. So the two key levers on which we measure the success of sustainability in Radisson Hotel Group, I can talk about that. One is we have a net zero commitment of 2050. That means we have a pathway to follow. That we have to reduce the 50% of carbon footprint by 2030 compared to 2019 level. That means for each of the region, each of the hotel, we have a target, which is to reduce the carbon footprint. You do it by moving to renewable, you do it by changing the equipment, whichsoever way, but you have to reduce the carbon footprint. So that's one way of measuring where are we going. The other one is we follow the net positive pathway, which is created by Sustainable Hospitality Alliance. That starts with hotel sustainability basics, which is the basic 12 criteria of sustainability. So unlike Leela, Radisson does not own any hotel. So we manage and operate hotels. We are the operators. So we have to go to the hotel owners to convince them about various practices. So we tell them, at least come to the basic level of sustainability in 95 countries. So 12 basic criteria to start with. We make sure that 100% of the hotels are at least hotel sustainability basics verified, a third party verification. That's on energy, water, waste measurement and reduction plan. That's also, that includes some social element to it. That also includes something like bulk dispensers or the water bottles are of glass. So basic elements, at least be on that and then move to the eco labels, building certification, and then move to net zero, and then the next thing. So it's a pathway. That's what we are following for our hotels in Radisson Hotel Group.
Thank you, thank you. So I have a couple of questions, to the panelists, and then we'll request the audience, we'll take the questionnaire from the audience. So thank you, Akanksha, and Suhail, would you like to add anything to this?
Just to add this now, it's to measure anything, it's very easy now. All the data everything is available, whether it's Taj, Oberoi, or Chalet, all the data is there. They all publish their ESG report on a yearly basis. And there are a few parameters like energy intensity, water intensity, waste generated. All the ESG parameters largely covers this. So one is that you can benchmark yourself, whether we are going towards sustainability. So second, a lot of certifications now. IGBC, Leela is also founding member of IGBC. So we do, all our palace hotels are green building certified platinum, net zero to waste platinum. We have done our ISO 9000, 14,000, 45,000, all are certified. So then you can actually do a benchmark to yourself. You can do all this certification. So automatically a lot of practices you have to inherent into your system. That allows automatically that you actually move towards sustainability. So there are a few practices which you can actually follow.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So we'll move on to next question. The encouraging guests to participate in green program not only help reduce the hotel's environmental footprint, but also build brand loyalty among customers and that contribute to long-term sustainability efforts. So my next question is as well, how can the hospitality industry effectively engage and encourage guests to participate in green programs that contribute to sustainability efforts?
So communication is a big part. Okay, once your team is geared up, they communicate with the guests participate. We're in fact looking at starting a ritual, I think that should start by 1st of March, which will be conducted every hotel, every day, which will communicate the sustainability practices across. Apart from guests in-house also, we do have our KRAs, key metrics that are set up with the managers in the hotels, where they have to do community outreach programs as well. So I think a couple of years ago we did, actually pre-COVID, we did a large community outreach with National Geographic where we had our engineering teams across the hotels go to houses and fix taps, leaky taps for free across all the societies within the neighborhood. They measured saving over 5 lakh liters of water.
Whether any other panelists would like to add more to this?
I can just add from the RFP's point of view as well, it has become very important. Sustainability is a big element there. A lot of hotels get filtered out if they are not on sustainable level as expected by Accenture or EYs in the world. So yeah, that's also an important point. GBTA also has created a sustainable framework now where everyone would be moving. So yeah, I mean, so again, that's also important from the guest perspective.
Just to add, the guest journey starts when he books the hotel, correct? So we are working with 3 of our OTA platforms, the top OTA platform. There are 2 which actually tells when you select whether this hotel is eco-friendly or not, okay? So it starts from there. So we are submitting all our certifications and everything, and we are working with them. So when the guests actually book a hotel, he knows whether this hotel is eco-friendly or not. That's first thing. Second, when he's checking in, checking out, all the process we need to be digitalized. So there's no paper required. So that is the impact. Third, when he entered into the room, what he see, the water bottles. The water bottle has to be glass water bottles. There's no plastics required. So in the evening, we can do a ceremonial rituals where we can promote the local culture, music, art, everything, and then the guest actually enlightens. So it starts from the booking till he actually depart. Second, as I told you, every hospitality company should give the ESG report. That is also actually every guest, whoever is interested, actually can read about your sustainability program. So this is how you can actually make your guests aware about the sustainability.
Right, right. Suhail, anything else?
I think one of the factors we missed out is, yes, guests communication and community outreach, but
Right.
another area where we don't pay enough attention is actually in our procurement lines. Okay, that is in.
Can we not also think of the incentive and to the guests?
So incentives to guests are already built in certain aspects. I think almost every hotel has your Save a Planet setup where you've got your linen recycling setup, and any guest that participates does get a certificate or those kind of monetary incentives. I don't think we've really linked that to
What
guests
about
yet.
the technology? How the technology would help in, reducing, improving the sustainability with respect to, the temperature and the light, maintaining the temperature and light. I think you would able to.
So temperature and light, immediately 4 or 5 things immediately I can tell you. One is integrated building management system where actually you can 50% of your power actually goes into the air conditioning. If air conditioning is well done, then your 50% problem is gone. 20 to 25% actually goes to the laundry. Whereas I told you, if you put in the do electrifications and use the correct efficiency of the laundry, it works very well. Then the important part is your room. So room, there are 2 things we can do it. One is if it is on our set standard is 24 plus minus 1. And if it is, if the room is not occupied, automatically actually it goes into 26 with a low speed of a fan. The small things which we immediately can do, doesn't require too much of a automation also. This we can immediately, this can be done.
Yeah, so we have already talked about the green applications, but then why can't we think of having the eco-friendly experience, like the nature walk or the bicycle, rental bicycle, and is it not possible that we can initiate this in the hospitality industry?
Yeah, we have. When you go to any resort hotels, you will get the bicycles. But not in the city hotels. Guest doesn't prefer, especially the clientele of our, in the city hotels, they come in they check in and they check out and they do their business in the city hotel and leave. But especially in the resort hotel, we have a bicycle.
Suhail, I think this initiative would be varies from hotel to hotel. Right, right. in the business hotel, I think we won't expect the eco-friendly, the tour on maybe the initiative. I do agree. So we'll move on to the next question. Thank you for the valuable insight on this issue, and I look forward for seeing more initiative, working together to make the efforts more sustainable and impactful. So as the push for sustainability intensifies across the hospitality and tourism sectors, the technology and innovation have emerged as a key enabler in driving more sustainable operations. From energy efficiency system to waste reduction tools, the right technology can help businesses not only reduce their environment impact, but also improve overall efficiency. So with that in mind, my question to Akanksha, my last question to Akanksha and to the panelists, how can technology and innovation be leveraged to enhance sustainability efforts in operation? And in continuation to that, my second question, can you provide example of technological solution or innovations that have helped reduce environmental impact or improve efficiency? It's a long question. Do you want me to repeat, Akanksha?
No, sir.
It's
I think
very
I
important
got
question.
it correct.
Very important question.
Very important
How
question.
we can use the technology in,
Yes.
making the sustainable hospitality.
Yes. So, I can say technology is that namak shamak in the hotel building that we use to bring on more efficiency. And sustainability, in the simple word, is efficiency the system. So you bring on efficiency. That's all which I measure in terms of carbon footprint or the water footprint or the waste footprint, right? So we talked a lot about technology. One, we talked about air to water solutions, some innovations like that, which is still building up, very efficient, very sustainable, but still requires economies of scale yet to come in the market. Glass water bottling plant, again, something that used to have a manufacturing plant somewhere outside, now is sitting in the basement of every hotel to create your, to create your glass bottles in the hotel. Something as basic as BMS system, what Sir talked about, so can bring on 15%, at least 15% of efficiency and in terms of saving cost as well. Something as simple as an efficient water management system can brings down your cost by 50% on water. So technology is the where we use it, how we use it, that's the question, and we are still building up on that. So sustainability, I again will quote Sir there, who talked about cost saving. So all of us sitting here are looking for technology or innovation which are coming in the market every day and talking about the ROI. So ROI for a renewable energy plant sitting outside your premises could be 5 years, but after that your electricity is free. Technology, again, renewable energy off-site PPA, which is available to many of the hotels and most of the manufacturing industries. The ROI for that comes around 8 months or 12 months maximum. So yeah, there are technologies which are coming up with the ROI, be it a short term or long term. But yeah, it's all cost-saving options in there.
Yeah, thank you, Akanksha. Any other panelists would like to add more to this?
So I discussed and I shared a lot of operations point. I just would like to tell you one thing. When energy efficiency, the important factor is when you actually design a asset also. When you design any hotel, you should design in a way where you should see where the wind actually flows, where the sunlight comes maximum time, where you should put trees more, where. So that is also very important part, because once the design is wrong, no, whatever you do in the operations, your efficiency will not come to the optimum level. So it's very, very important part. When you design, you should talk to your design and development team, give them a very clear mandate on the ESG front of view, what should be the efficiency, what is the benchmark in the industry, and like once your facade glass has been placed in the asset, and if it's not efficient, best efficient in the market, then you can't change it. There's too much of cost, and second, the operations will get hampered. So you have to be very mindful when you're actually designing a building and you're constructing a building. All the good practice, all the ESG practice will be incorporated into that asset.
Yeah, thank you. Yes,
So
Suhail.
that goes back to your building for longevity. If you do that, you're building sustainably. Yeah.
Thank you, panel. So we'll take couple of questions from the audience. So whether audience would like to ask any questions, please raise your hand. Audience, any question from audience? Surprising. Oh, questions are coming up.
Hi,
Thank you.
Akanksha. My question to you, given where the industry is today, what kind of incentives do you think will best move the needle forward on scaling up the sustainability initiatives?
Incentive from the government or
Yeah.
I think incentive is already there. If you think about a renewable, as she said, 5 years. Sometimes if you put a capex, it's 3.5 year only. The IRR of renewable is 21, 22%. It's a good business to do in the market. All the solar. If it is a name, if your company has a solar name, then also it will work. And right now, this is the stage of the industry. Total 70 gigawatt of electricity is already there in the country. So there are lot of regulations they have already given. If you ask me, I feel we need a lot of innovations. We need a lot of innovations now. How to deal with it? Like I was talking to some business partner of ours where he's saying that the waste of the coffee can be converted into the brick and can be used it in somewhere in the construction. So this kind of innovations requires a lot of effort to segregate them, but then there are a lot of innovations which is required.
From a governmental perspective, sometimes apart from incentives, even disincentives plays an important role. Like if you look at Gujarat government, they recently passed a law where all groundwater withdrawal has to be monitored and has to be paid for. So you cannot now withdraw groundwater without paying for it on a meter. So that also then spurs innovation to do conservation with regards to water.
Thank you.
So,
So any other question?
if I may add there, I mean, I differ a bit on this point. So I think a lot of policies and support is required to the hospitality industry in terms of green financing. That's not really accessible to the hotel owner, which is sitting in a T4 or a T3 city, which is not a 5-star property. So I think green financing has to be more accessible to the hotel and the hospitality sector in general. The second one, we talked about renewable, but still a lot of states, most of the states in north of India, east of India, open access is still not accessible to the hotels or any commercial property, if I may say. So, I mean, we have a central policy, but that's not really has been implemented in most of the states.
Okay.
The third one, the government should somewhere take a step forward to guide the hospitality industry, what are those standards that you should stick to? Because everyone is doing their own things. Somebody follow green building certification, other one follows something else. So somewhere a streamlined approach has to be given to the hospitality
So
industry
there are gaps in policies.
which is yet to be improved, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, next question, please. Thank you. We are running short of time, so I'll take 3 questions. Last 3 questions.
Just one question. We talked about sustainability and everything. From the guest perspective, how it appeals to the guest and can that correlate to my revenues? I mean, if he's an eco-conscious customer, is he willing to pay more to me because I'm investing so much in sustainability?
So we had done this survey actually many years ago where we had asked a guest, would he pay more for it? While no guest is going to say no, okay, the reality of it is that no guest will pay more. But you will become the first choice. And as a first choice, it's very important. So you become a preferred choice versus the other.
Okay. So sub question to do is there any search engine wherein we can justify this, that there are so many conscious customers, like we have Expedia, TripAdvisors, or Booking.com. Do they give such kind of insights that we are looking for eco, so that hotels can really look at those numbers and start investing in this?
Absolutely. Today, quite a few of the OTAs have actually published that they're sustainable hotels. And like he mentioned also, there are about 3 or 4 OTAs which show sustainable hotels and show the classification of the hotels as sustainable. And they publish as to what traction those hotels get versus their competitors.
Hi, again Girish here. Thank you very much. But my question was precisely on mid-size hotels and 2 and 3 tier city. Whatever your solutions, also from 4-star, 5-star training experience, that will be in the books. When it comes to practically on 50 rooms, 30 rooms, 60 rooms today, the B, C cities, 3 and 4 tier cities are doing very well. And they are the people who create the GDP and XYZ. So on that ecosystem for return of investment on water, energy or anything, definitely even changing to plastic bottle to glass bottle today costs at least 25-30 lakhs. No one cannot, it's a big capex for them. So can you put something or any value additions or any economic vendors or suppliers are there? I can give you 50 hotel orders in a day because I have a huge network in Bengaluru, especially in Karnataka. Thank you.
So we actually have a lot of hotels that are smaller and maybe 50, 60, 70 rooms. We've got bottling solutions which are down to even 6 lakhs. Happy to share the details with you.
Thank you. So what is,
My question to Suhail sir is like right now we are in the era of AI, and of course this industry is, of course, it's about the personal service to the customers. So how will this AI will help in sustainability of the hospitality industry in future till 2030 or 2045?
So there's a lot to be discovered with AI, okay, and I think it's a evolving time. It currently is outlining different ways to reduce costs, but how much it does for sustainability, again, is based on the data it's given. I think if it's given a lot of data input, it can come out with a lot of solutions for data.
so any other panelists would like to add to this question?
No, I completely agree with Suhail. So yeah, AI is helping us in real-time data monitoring and measurement right now, and that's the key. Right now, at least we know what we are measuring it, so then only we can take action. So right now we are at that stage of using AI, of measuring what we are at least consuming and what footprint do we have there.
See, once we have a data in place, over the period of time, what should be our decarbonization path, when we'll achieve it, when we'll achieve the net zero, this all can be determined from the AI. AI may not have the capability right now, but I'm very sure that's what is very, very important. As Soil said, for a water, first we have to capture the data. If you have a data with then AI can work very well. So yes, and AI also, there are a lot of now applications coming in the market who actually helps us build our ESG story. There's so many applications, 200 or 250 applications are there in the market. There are a lot of applications that actually use the AI and tells you exactly where you should focus on now.
So did you get the answer to this? Thank you. So I'll take a last question from the audience. Yes, please.
Hi, my question to Mr. Naresh. As you said that,
Be louder and keep
yeah,
the.
sorry. As you said that government also take a part and initiate to take a role in the sustainable waste management. So my question is that how can the partnership with government or any local communities or NGOs can play a role in sustainable waste management?
So definitely one example I'd give you the Leela Ke Phool. There's a program called Leela Ke Phool where I told you, correct? So second, I can give you one more example where we have tied up with a NGO or organization called Jodhpur Mahila Grah Udyog. Okay, it's obviously in Jodhpur, rural part of a Jodhpur, where they actually stitch 90,000 embroidery bags for us, and we keep it in our room. So actually, when any laundry bag of ours and we'll open actually, and we market them also. There's nothing to hide. So we are very open about it. When we go to the NGOs, when we do a waste management with Leela Ke Phool. So we do a lot of partnerships. One more example I can, and we have a tie up with the noblest Kailash Satyarthi ji. So we have taken a 11, so he runs the schools, child friendly schools in Rajasthan, mostly in Rajasthan. So we have taken 11 schools under us. So we do a CSR activity there also. So there are a lot of programs which we can actually participate. There are a lot of examples. When you actually search a lot of hospitality industry and then a lot of companies you'll search, you'll get lot of examples like this.
I think I'll take one more question.
I have a question. As I'm a student, I have a very different question as compared to anybody else here. I want to ask, as we are going to join this industry very soon, in upcoming 3 to 4 months, what role we can play so that we can contribute to sustainable hospitality? And because we aspire to be great hoteliers in upcoming future, what would you suggest us or what would you advise us? That's my question.
So sustainability is not a buzzword, okay? As it's a lifestyle choice, and I think if you make that lifestyle choice as a student, at home, start segregating garbage, see what you can do, start getting into gardening. If you make that as a lifestyle choice, automatically you will find application for it through your life.
Did you get the answer?
Definitely. Thank
You'll
you.
have to work on this. Thank you. So thank you all the panelists for your valuable insight and thoughtful contribution today. Your expertise and perspective made this event truly memorable, and I appreciate your time and efforts to dedicate it with us. So we have, Dipti Patil. I was just, observing. She's making a note of it. So she's from tourism and planning consultant and founder director of Soulful Journey. And I request her to kindly brief us the takeaway from this wonderful session and give a vote of thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. So it has been an absolute privilege to be part of today's panel discussion and talking about balancing energies, water and waste management, and being a sustainability tourism consultant. I focus more on sustainable tourism, and I always a part of planning destinations and how we can actually make destinations more sustainable right from the beginning and not trying to change it afterwards. So it was a really great insight. It was very knowledgeable. It was very insightful. So some of the key takeaways that I have seen is that the main is about monitoring and conducting audits and actually understanding that where we have how we can have the energy efficiency at every hotel or even at destinations or a restaurant, and seeing also about water. Water is the main resource, and from tourism point of view, water is also a main attraction anywhere we go, and water like ocean, lakes are also the resource for getting water for our consumption at hotels. So it's a very important aspect that we actually audit energy, water, as well as waste management that has been done at these hotels, at the restaurants, and then provide the right solutions for it. I have also seen that like everyone has obviously given their inputs on how we do the energy efficiency, use solutions for renewable resources, have segregations, have biogas plants. I think most of the hotels have their organic composting plants in place. So I would like to mention that hotels can be actually a waste managers or sustainability innovators, whereas they have always been given a title of waste producers. So we can definitely, by using sustainable practices and innovations, can bring in that change. I would also like to mention that something what Suhail sir said was about industry being inherently sustainable, and we being from India, I think it is inherent in our practices on everyday basis. Like he was telling about the students, what we can do. So घर से ही शुरुआत होती है. So as a responsible traveler, as a responsible stakeholder, it is our prime duty that we can actually, we already have that inculcated in us as an individual being from India, that how to be sustainable on ourselves, and that we can actually reflect in our businesses as well. Another important aspect that I also saw was about sustainable designing. So as a destination development planner, right from the beginning, if we make considerable choices of actually using the correct materials, of using the right, designing, as sir mentioned, we can actually, reduce the operational cost. I also, what stood out to me and most of your hotel groups practice is about involving communities and also focusing on cultural preservations as well as nature conservation. So it is not just about the energy and water resources, but as we rightly mentioned, it is about the whole cycle. So as we said it, it comes from our culture. So when we start involving the local communities together, the practices actually starts coming into practices, I would say. So ultimately the learning from today's session is that sustainability can be the central of planning of tourism destinations as well as hospitality industry. We should focus on renewable energy, efficient water management systems, waste reduction, community empowerment, and aligning this with the guiding framework of sustainability, which is people, planet, and prosperity. I would like to, if B.N. Patil sir would have been there, I would have definitely taken this opportunity to let him know that the government bodies or the policy makers, investors should actually play a very crucial role in conducting such detailed studies and research on what impact tourism can have, negative as well as positive, on all the resources that we have and how we can integrate all these findings into the strategic policy makings. So it shouldn't just be what a particular single brand hotel can do, but also as a government, as a stakeholder, what we all can do for overall sustainability. Also, there are a lot of global organizations which already have such reports in place, and we should definitely partner with them and take this forward. Overall, I would say that creating awareness, giving the right training, making responsible travelers, engaging into good initiatives like carbon offsetting, integrating the local communities, and use of AI technologies, taking up green certifications from various bodies is something that we can actually help in bringing a better sustainable future for hospitality as well as tourism destinations. So I would say that let us all take forward the lessons learned today and commit to build a greener tomorrow. Thank you to our organizers, panelists and audience for such a productive and thought-provoking session today. Thank you everyone.
Yeah. On behalf of the World of Hospitality and the editors Tina Joy, we would like to felicitate our panelists. It was great to have you all here, especially Suhail's dad, Param Kannampilly, is known as the green man of India. I mean, he started the green revolution in hospitality. So we thank all our panelists, and we like to call upon my colleague Satish Dange, if he can just come up on the dais to give up a small token of our appreciation. So we have Dr. Dabholkar. Thank you, sir, for moderating this very interesting session. We'll be covering all this in our upcoming edition of the magazine. Come little in the front, sir. Yeah. Okay. Next is Mr. Suhail Kannampilly. Mr. Suhail Kannampilly. Thank you, sir, for being here. Mr. Naresh Asawa. Thank you, sir. Miss Akanksha. Miss Akanksha. Wait, we would like to have a group photograph, please. Yeah. And Mr. Sanjeev Advani. Yeah. Mr. Sanjeev, yeah. And we would also like if Ms. Patil could collect the plaque for Dr. Patil, who was not here, but we had the plaque ready for him, so she can please collect it on his behalf. Patil. Can we all have a huge round of applause? And just to let you all know that, like Mr. Kannampilly said, that it has to start from the operational stage. We have an interesting panel discussion tomorrow on sustainable hotel design, where we actually called consultants who design hotel projects. So please be there for the panel, and let's have a group photograph. Satish, without you, huh? Yeah, just a minute. We want one only with the panelists, please. Dr. Dabholkar, yeah. Ek और photograph just with the five of y'all. That's for our magazine. Yeah. Only y'all. Only the panelists, please. आप ले लो.